The good stuff's in between the lines.
Hello and welcome to The Good Stuff in Between, the podcast that goes behind the scenes of the music industry, speaking to artists, managers, crews, and all those who make the magic happen to try and get some of their stories, experiences, tips, to try and help those who are trying to make their own way in the music industry. I'm your host, Sean Milne, and for episode 17 of the podcast, I'm delighted that we have another Norwegian artist on the show. Fredwell will be no stranger to some, having done sold out tours as part of support for Sigrid in the past, showcasing his songs such as Superhero, followed by More Than a Maybe, and a whole bunch of other tunes that have followed since. This year, of course, a big one with the DJ legend that is Kygo and performing on Surrender and just a tour that's, I think, just about complete, which is fast approaching 4 million streams on Spotify so far. And is back now with another track, Little House, which came out on Friday. I'm thrilled to say he's with me now. Fredwell, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
And you're in Bergen today, yeah?
Yeah, I am.
How is the weather there?
I guess it's kind of the same as in Scotland. It's quite Bergen is quite a Scottish town. It feels like, if you know what I mean. You've been here, right? So
Yeah, I was there just recently, and I was kind of blown away about one, how gorgeous the place is, and two, how music's really at the heart of the city as well.
yeah, it's a good music town. Yeah.
How did you first get into the music scene?
I started off in a band called The Well, and we did a lot of gigs all around Norway. We also had an English manager at one point called Sam Johnson, who introduced us to the English, I mean, basically London music scene. And we did a couple of sessions with The Script, the band, in London, in their studio. So they helped us a lot with writing and producing a couple of singles for us. And then we joined them on tour as well, actually, in Norway. So that was cool.
And was this something that started in sort of childhood? Do you have like a family background in it?
Yeah, yeah. It was a family band. It was me, my brother, and two of our cousins, and a friend, like a neighbor friend. So we started just off playing basically uh, like cover songs, basically. We were a cover band playing in like like big weddings and yeah, birthday parties. So that's how we started off. And then it became just more and more serious. And we started to write our own songs and yeah, it worked out pretty well. And then I wanted to focus on my own stuff and I went I went solo and that's why the Fretwell name came up.
So when you talk about your music and writing your own music, you've had a style that seems to evolve all the time. It's really fascinating to listen to some of your early stuff, which
Yeah.
in some ways, you know, parts of it make me think R&B, parts of it make me think pop, part of it makes me think, wow, there's a bit of George Michael in there. There's another time it's Pharrell. You've got a real eclectic sound.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I've been inspired a lot by the whole R&B stuff, a lot of R&B stuff, and to be honest, when we came to London to write with the script, I was such a big fan of them. So it that was like my the script era and the whole Coldplay, Coldplay, the script, Kings of Leon, all the big bands. And when I met them in the studio, I could barely talk. I was like, I just sat there for an hour just staring. So that was kind of weird. And then so I've been inspired a lot about by the old bands like in Kings of Leon, Coldplay, The Script, Oasis. Yeah. Also, my parents listened a lot to like Pink Floyd, Deep Purple. So I love the rock uh, part. I mean the pop rock, also the rock part of music. So I've been I've listened to a lot of different stuff basically. So it's hard to know who. I just want to make music that feels right in the very moment. I don't want necessarily want to make now today I want to make a pop song. I just want to make music that feels like right in the very moment.
I
Yeah.
think that probably comes through best in your songwriting, your lyrics. They're very, very strong on the way they tell a story or project an emotion. Is that what makes you tick? You just need to get stuff out there?
Yeah, I mean, lyrics. I think my lyrics is always the hardest part. I think because I've written so many songs, and it's just to get the new inspiration is sometimes really hard because it feels like you have written this song before when you start writing it. And that's the hardest part actually to get up with something that feels new and different and yeah, if you know what I mean.
Do you have a process? Do you like to do it yourself? Do you like to be surrounded by people to bounce ideas around?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like to bounce ideas around, yeah. And I mean, I just like to write down simple words in every day, basically. Just when I come up with something, I just like to write it down. And I can wake up in night just just to write stuff down on my phone or just to do like short recordings on my phone. My girlfriend, she thinks I'm sometimes. I mean, I wake up in night like it could be 4 o'clock and just start to record stuff in bed. So she thinks I'm nuts sometimes, but yeah, that's how it is to be creative, I guess.
Tell us about the new song. How did that come around for Little House?
Yeah, it came. We wrote it like 2 years ago, I think, 3 years ago maybe, and we just wanted to write a song. When you we all have dreams, and it's kind of a quirky one, but it's like the whole thing was just we wanted to chase our dreams so bad, but we always wanna remember where we were coming from. And it's just the whole song is basically about chase your dreams, but always, I mean, know the road that leads you back home again. So that was the whole idea about the song. And we're from a small town. Bergen is a quite small town, and it was something about I'm from the countryside, like half an hour outside of Bergen. So there's always these little houses around. So that was the whole picture of it and the idea of it we've been traveling a lot and we've experienced a lot, but always remember that little house where you're from. So that was the whole idea about it.
So when you go on tour, for example, or you're away for business
Mhm.
and you come back, you get off a ferry or at the airport, what have you, and suddenly you arrive back where you live, you're walking down the street. What kind of feelings come across you?
Yeah, it's I mean I really love Bergen, and I don't think I could have lived anywhere else, to be honest. I do love to travel, and I feel comfortable in like in a hotel room. I'm very easy on that. I can feel home in like in a hotel room after a minute. So that's not the biggest issue for me, but I think it's just the whole idea about the people in your hometown. It's the you just feel comfortable to writing there, working from Bergen. It just feels, and the music scene here has just been exploding the last 5 years with Aurora, Secret, Kygo, Alan Walker, the DJs. So it just feels really safe to be in Bergen at this point. But sometimes you always have to get out of the like comfort zone. So that's why we want to travel. Yeah. to London, Stockholm, yeah, all the big music cities.
Yeah, there's a real strength in Norwegian music just now. I think even sort of described as a new Nordic at some point.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
who do you think's been setting the pace in terms of Norway getting on the international scene?
The next one, or do you mean who's been doing it?
Yeah, which artist do you think has been blazing a trail for everybody else?
Oh, I think the ones I just mentioned, Kygo, Alan Walker, and definitely Aurora and Sigrid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you've just been on tour with Kygo.
Yeah.
How was that? How did it all come
That
around?
was, I mean, that was so big for me, and I haven't played that big of a crowd before. It was like 24,000 in the Oslo and about 12,000 in Trondheim, and the whole experience was just out of this world. It was just so crazy to go on stage and just feel the whole you can actually feel the wind blowing when they scream. So it's so different from a club with 50 people in it. Yeah.
Must be
That was
quite
amazing.
addictive. You must keep wanting more and more of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, we're in touch with them right now to see if I'll join a few more shows. He's doing London as well, actually, the O2, and I really want to join that one. So we'll see.
So you, of course, you performed on his album with Surrender,
Yeah.
and there was this lavish video production on the Troll's Tongue that people can see as well. What was that like? How did that all come together?
Um, Basically, we've been writing a lot of songs that we just sent to him. And I wasn't necessarily going to sing on the song. So I think he tried a different singers on it as well. And he just came back, asked if I wanted to sing it. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, definitely. I want to sing. I want to sing on that one, of course. Because mostly what I do is songwriting, for other people. So I never thought that I was going to sing it anyways. But so that was just a bonus, to be honest. And we also have a new single coming out this Friday with Kygo that I wrote, and I think that's a single. I mean, my track was an album track, and album tracks is you never know how it's gonna do, but this time it's a single, and that's very big opportunity for me,
So if you,
songwriting wise.
yeah, so if you've had the album track and that's already touching 4 million streams, the single you hope's going to do well, and that's "Hold on Me." It's co-written.
Yeah, hold on me. Yeah.
That must be a real big deal for you. You must be thrilled and real excited.
Oh yeah, so thrilled, and he's been doing a lot of promo this time, radio, and yeah, and I can feel that this is a big song for him as well because of the whole promo stuff that he's been doing. So I'm so excited for this one. I just yeah, feels really cool to be part of it.
You also did the tour with Sigrid way back in what, 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
That was sold out too. And that seemed to have inspired a cover you did, Strangers.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I almost forgot that. Yeah. True. We did a lot of UK shows. I think it was like 12 shows all around. I can't remember them all, but we did at least London, Manchester, Liverpool, Glasgow, yeah, Cardiff, yeah, Leeds. A lot of different great cities that I've never been to. So that was a great journey as well, just to experience the whole of UK, to get the chance to visit all these different cities. That was amazing. Just to get to know a lot of different people, and it was just a great feeling all around, basically. And that was when she was on her maybe peaking in the UK, I think. She started off with a big show in London, and yeah, we also did Brighton. We played The Great Escape in Brighton the year before, and then we came back. So we had a couple of fans there ourselves. So that was really nice to come back to Brighton. I love that city.
Yeah, well, the reason I mentioned this is these are two very big names, among the biggest names in Norwegian music, and
Mm,
you've got to perform with both. And
yeah.
obviously, you're doing more and more stuff with the songwriting too. Where does that take you next? You've had a taste of tours, you've had a taste of that huge live experience. I know that you've been writing loads of music. Where are we going with this? Is it album? Is it your own tour? What are you hoping is going to happen?
Yeah, to be honest, my main focus is on the songwriting part of it. But I'm definitely gonna release some new singles for my own project as well, and there's gonna be an album in the end. But right now, I've been getting a lot of different after the whole Kygo thing. That's when it really became interesting for me, the whole songwriting part, because I've gotten a lot of big chances from that. So I'm just gonna for the next few months, I have a lot of different sessions. So that's gonna I'm really excited for the next part, I mean the songwriting part of it. And then I have I have a couple of singles that's ready for my own projects. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna release anything this year, but at least in January or maybe February.
Can you say what kind of people that you're hoping to work with over the next few months?
Yeah, I have a lot of names that I want to work with, but I guess I'm not sure if I can get in touch with them. But I love the whole EDM universe. Uh, but I really want to do the whole band thing. I think the whole band thing is going to come back to somewhere nice in the future. So I want to get to know like a real rock pop rock band. Yeah. So that's what I'm basically looking for at this point. But of course, there's a lot of big artists out there, and I have some dream co-writings, but we'll see.
One thing I was real interested in seeing some of your videos and Instagrams was family, of course,
Mhm.
appearing there as well. Has family changed how you approach songwriting? Has it changed your perspective as a person?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot, a lot. And it's just things that you haven't experienced before. I'm a father of two right now. So the youngest one is only 2 months. So that changed the whole life. I mean, the whole situation, of course, and how you look at your life. You have to provide for someone else too, and on yourself. You can't only think about music for 24/7 like I usually have done. So there's been a lot of yeah, structure wise to plan the whole day to day has been really difficult, to be honest. But as soon as you get into the whole rhythm of it, it's totally worth it. Yeah. So it's everyone's been asking me how can you do it, and how can you how can you I mean how can you it must be hard to do like in the same way as before, if you know what I mean. That's the hardest point. You basically want to write every second and every hour, but you just can't do that. But still, you can do a lot more than you thought you would. That makes sense.
You're going to have some amazing stories to tell them as they get older as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, some crazy
Yeah.
stories. Yeah.
and some videos they show them too. Here's me on Troll's Tongue.
Oh yeah.
There's the flames. There's the helicopter.
Oh yeah. I'm so yeah. They just don't delete that video from YouTube.
What's you got planned for the rest of this year then, in terms of work?
There's basically just a lot of different sessions writing. I'm going to London for a week in December and Stockholm and a lot of sessions in Bergen. So at this point, just to do like maximum out of every minute.
And there's so much more going on in the Norwegian music scene just now as well, in terms of other people who are writing. They've got stuff due to come out. It's going to be a busy, busy time. How do you think the UK fan base is adapting to what's coming out of not just Norway, but Scandinavia in general? In
Yeah,
the crowd's very receptive, for example.
that's a good question. I mean, London has always been my go-to music scene. There's so many different clubs and arenas, and there's so many producers, great producers in London that I've been inspired from and of, and uh, I mean the Bergen is so small compared to London in every way. So the I love the UK music scene. It just feels a bit different in a way where people really want to listen to every song that's been played live, and that's the biggest difference, I think, that they're coming out early to see also the warm up artists and not only the main act. I think that's the biggest difference. They're really interested in the whole thing, basically. Yeah.
Can you remember the last gig you went to just as a fan, just to go and watch and not play?
Yeah, I've been to a lot of festivals this summer actually, but um my biggest like concert experience was definitely Coldplay last year. Um, that's like the very that was just so insane to watch all the songs that you've been inspired of live. It just felt very special in that very moment, but also inspirational wise. I just got so inspired by the whole package of it, and just to see how people reacted and stuff that you don't necessarily hear just listening to the album or just the singles one by one. So it was just so because you get to hear all the old tracks as well, and it was so amazing. So that's the best live experience for me.
I'm of a vintage. I remember seeing Coldplay when they first burst onto the scene at a gig in Glasgow, and it was pretty special. But I also think there must be something about Norwegian artists, or particularly those who are part of the Maid management,
Mm.
roster, because Sigrid's also a huge Coldplay fan, covered
Mhm.
Jello, scored at the Scientist, of course.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about it. Could we ever see a cover of Coldplay coming from you, do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I played I played a lot of Coldplay covers live yeah, in my life. But and to be honest, that would be a dream for me to do have a Coldplay co-writing or something like that. That's the ultimate dream, to be honest. And I've been I'm not sure if I'm gonna, because with Kygo, we've done a lot of different tracks, and some of the tracks I know that Chris Martin has been writing on some of them, not on not on the very same angle or on the same top line or lyrics, but because he can just send out a track to a whole bunch of people to be like, could you write something on this or this? And then I've heard just like snippets of him writing on the very same track that I was writing on. So that was just also a very big moment for me to know that at this point we're actually listening to the same track, trying to write something on it. Not co-writing or anything like that, but just to know that he's working on the same thing as me, but a whole different top line or lyrics or whatever. That was just also like a big thing.
For people who are trying to, develop their own songwriting or trying to get those kind of breaks as well, what kind of advice would you give to them in terms of, how they can, think the way you think, or some of these other people you've mentioned might approach a project?
Just, I mean, of course, just to write something every day, and it doesn't necessarily have to be great every time or finished every time, but just to always try to write something, even if it's just like a top line or one liner or something like that. And then just if you got something that you feel is could work for someone or something, just send it. Just do that. Just try to reach out to them and just send a link and just because you never know when they're gonna like be like, oh, damn, this is good, right? So if you really, but don't send whatever. It needs to be something that is good because you can lose your chance, to be honest. Yeah.
What I loved about your description of Little House earlier on as well is, we're just getting to hear it now, but you say it started its journey 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show that sort of longevity and that effort that you put in way back then suddenly comes to fruition now. That must
Yeah.
be quite special for you when it happens.
Oh yeah, definitely, because it made more sense for me at this point to release it because of the whole family situation that I'm in. And I became a father 2 years ago, right after we wrote the track. And then when I became a father, it made a whole different sense. It gave me a whole different meaning, and it was just so nice to release it last week. It was just like also Cargo actually worked on it 2 years ago, so it was supposed to be a Cargo song. Uh, uh, but yeah, that's how it is. I mean, it felt better in this kind of setup with the whole piano thing. So yeah, but it's always nice to. I think this is one of my personal favorites for myself, at least, because it's so challenging to sing it. It's really hard to sing because it's a lot of up and downs throughout the song, and it's basically my peak on the top note. So I couldn't. It's basically written for my voice in a way. Yeah. So it would be hard for someone else to sing it, I think.
But it also shows off your range of voice as well, because as you say, it goes to so many different places in the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's not just made for radio. It's something you can imagine being played in, a big arena with all the lights down and everyone out with their camera phones, or
Yeah.
you could equally see it being used in like a movie, for instance, in a certain scene. It seems a very flexible song that could lend itself to many situations, even though
Yeah.
it's got that core meaning for you.
Absolutely. It feels like a movie song. And to be honest, to sing it live would be I don't think I've been singing it live. No, I haven't, but I think that's gonna be a hard one, to be honest. It's so difficult. And when I recorded it, it was like, can we try to pitch it down a little bit? Like, but we wanted that heartfelt feeling of the very peak, and also the in the low verses, and so we wanted to maximize my range capacity, and I think we did that. But to play it live would take me like an hour to just warm up, to be honest, because it's so hard.
So hopefully one day we'll get to see, because you certainly nailed it in the track. And there's something quite unusual about this for me as well, which was there's an instrumental version where also you're not singing that I've heard, and that in itself is really really powerful. It could stand alone.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I love that part as well. And that feels actually a little bit, that was actually Coldplay inspired, that last part. They also do that in like Fix You, Fix You, right? So it was quite inspired by that, the ending of Fix You. Yeah, so I love that part, and obviously that will be so nice live, I think, with a whole band production.
We'll see. We'll see if that happens. But
Yeah.
listen, I'm conscious of time as well, so I'll
Hmm.
just move swiftly onto what we always do, which is just a quick fire round.
Yeah, sweet.
Hopefully it'll be a bit of fun. What was he says nervously. There you go. What was the music of your youth, and do you still carry it with you?
Yes, absolutely. Music of my youth. I can remember the Brothers in Arm album by Dire Straits as some of the first, like uh, the first time I listened to a whole album. That was Dire Straits.
Okay. The last song or podcast that you listened to?
The last song I listened to, gonna have to check the name on it. Double check. It's Things Behind Things by Bon Iver.
Would you prefer an exclusive album launch or a festival?
Festival.
Your favorite food or rider?
Oh, pizza and pasta.
If you could collaborate with anyone alive or from history on a project, who would it be and why?
Coldplay.
Restaurant, cinema, or lazy Sunday brunch?
Restaurant, yeah.
Digital addict, or can you switch off?
I can definitely switch off.
What does look what does life look like after you stop?
Sorry, what was that?
What does life look like after you stop?
Oh, that's a big question. It's hard to say. Hopefully, I've done some big records.
One artist everyone should be listening to right now.
Hmm. Um, I think that's a good question. I have to look at my. I love Jungle, the band.
From where you started to where you are now,
Mhm.
what was the good stuff in between?
Ooh, nice one. From where I started until now. Do you mean like my peak moment, or just anything?
Anything you like?
I'm gonna have to answer. This weekend was actually amazing on the Kygo tour. Yeah.
And what's the best piece of advice or helping hand that you've been given that you would share with others?
Whatever situation you're in, work-wise or life in life in general, just try to always be your. This is a quirky one, but it's helped me a lot. Just be yourself and try to write the most honest stuff, basically. Try to be honest, songwriting wise, and in general.
Well, Fred, looking forward to hearing more of your songwriting creations. Very good luck for Little House just now, and thanks so much for spending the time with us today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you a lot.
The good stuff's in between the lines.